us and a prosperous new year from independent television and radio.
Thank you. Hello. Hi. We met? Promoter for this.
Well, thank you very much, Minister.
Attend to working collaboratively with partners across the sector to rebuild and to energize the ecosystem. And it's surprising that not a lot of people even recognize that there isn't really for example, modern art museum in Nigeria. We've talked a lot about heritage and we tend to skip straight to the contemporary art scene, which is thriving and alive. But there are so many elements of culture and development that are important for establishing that continuum across time and space and projecting us into the future. And that's really what EMOWAA's vision is. We've accommodated well beyond the need for the EMOWAA team because we would like there to be visiting artists, professionals, scholars, and that this actually starts to establish those connections that are key. Yes. So I've spoken a bit about programming. This is just to say that it's not just about collections, but it's really about moving the radar in terms of where we are on heritage management and in culture and creative development.
My name is Papa Motayo. I'm a Lagos and now Edo State-based architect. And as Ores mentioned, one of the important things that the Ajay Associates have done is really investigate the history of traditional building techniques. And that's why the project uses a rammed earth construction. And it's also, as a facility, it's following an EDGE certification. So again, this environmental aspect of the project that sort of runs through the entire, not just this particular pavilion, but I think the ethos of EMOWAA as well in terms of thinking about international standards, but at the same time contextualizing it, thinking about local materials. The facilities, I'm just going to run through quite quickly and follow along. The collections facility, there's an archaeological facility, and there's areas for learning and exchange. So this is the rear of the pavilion side. And as we move further.
This conversation has been on for almost a year and a half. The conversation, in fact 2 years, the conversation about restitution and the returns of these works. I am very excited and very glad because it's people may not understand the implication and impact and importance of what we're doing now. In years to come, they will hopefully Edo people and Nigerians will come to appreciate that we took the right decision. First, to put pressure on those who are currently holding prized pieces of artifacts, that these works actually belong to us, that these works were forcibly taken away from this city, and there was a lot of destruction and carnage that went with it. And at the minimum, as part of that healing, part of that reconnection, should involve first returning these works to where they belong, at least some of them. But more importantly, whether they are all returned or not, what is most important is the ownership, that these works don't belong to the people who are currently holding them, that these works belong to Edo people, and since Edo is now part of Nigeria, these works should come back to Nigeria. The Germans were the first to accept the argument, to buy into this line of thought, and for them, because they have a conscience and they are dealing with the issues of colonialism and the way they treated some of their colonies, and that has sparked public debates in Germany and ethical and moral debates, which we were glad that we were able to extend that debate to the issue of restitution and returns of work. So there's quite a lot of German support from not just the central government, the federal government of Germany, but also some of the regional governments who were keeping some of these works in their museums. So for us as a state, we are glad that we've been able to serve as a catalyst to make this happen. Before I came into office, 12 or so years before I came into office, the conversations had been on, discussions had been on, but we realized that it was not going to go anywhere except the Edo State government stepped in, and it was the intervention of the Edo State government that facilitated the returns of these works and the increased conversations around the returns. So for us, we've just served as a catalyst. How are we going to benefit from it? Like you heard from the presentation, it's not the works in themselves. It is the whole ecosystem that we will be creating. First, there's so much we don't know because of that disconnection of what happened, how we used to live, how we used to deal with our environment. We need knowledge, we need research. And these pieces coming back serve as a contact point to begin research work as to who we are as a people. And never again are we going to sit and allow outsiders to tell us about our history, to explain to us who we are and what our objects mean to us. So by bringing them here and having this sort of facility, the research that will be undertaken by us, and it will be now locally contextualized for us to make meaning. Secondly, it'll serve as a stimulation, because Edo people are still very creative. So the people who created these world-class pieces 500 years ago, it's the same blood that flows in their veins today. Many of them are expressing themselves in different art forms and in different media. But there is nothing institutionalized. There's no infrastructure to support that. So a facility like this will be that infrastructure, which will be second to none on the continent, to support our budding artists. Whether in the traditional arts, in music, in entertainment. So what we've done with the Victor Waifu Creative Hub. So it's about reenacting that creative cultural instincts that is in our DNA. The third will be creating an economy out of our culture. We sit in Nigeria and you can see the buzz, you can see what is happening in some other cities. People are going in there for arts exhibitions, fashion exhibitions, people all over the world are flying in. But we are arts, we are culture. So if any world-class cultural events are to take place in this country, it has to be in the city. But it cannot happen if you don't have the infrastructure or the facilities to. So just creating a cultural hub like this, on the city center, will provide that infrastructure for us to be the home of culture, which we naturally are. And then lastly, the creatives. We had the first Edo International Film Festival last year. Tracy, the young Edo girl from Italy, won the MasterChef competition in Italy, and she came in with the support of the Italian embassy. So whether it's in fashion, in foods, in film, in music, in arts, in the traditional arts, we want to be the home. We want that creative instincts in our young ones to have means of expression, and that's what this project is all about.
So the visit of the Minister for Culture, where is that in the development plan of this project? What's next for us?
We were in Germany about 6 months ago, and I met her in the office, and we talked about this project. So members of parliament to see how we could get support from the German government for some of the initiatives. They were concerned about migration. We tried to explain to them that migration cannot be seen outside the context of a cultural displacement. And we agreed on very many areas of cooperation and collaboration. And so they're coming in today, just means it's a follow-up to the fact that, yes, they heard us, and they were, their commitment to work with us was genuine, and that's what you are seeing expressing today. They are, partially contributing to fund the Pavilion project. EMOWAA is raising money internationally because, as you know, EMOWAA is a charitable trust. It's a trust. It's a charitable trust, an open platform to raise money to help us preserve our heritage. It's not a money-making venture. Nobody's making money from this. People are going out spending their energy, spending their resources, spending their connections to try and make Edo, put Edo before the world, to make Edo attractive for people who globally are concerned about preservation of heritage, to also take an interest in it. And they want to see a certain type of institution to do it. Something that is transparent, something they can see through. And that is what EMOWAA has done. And we've supported them. And like I said, any other serious interventions by public or private individuals, the Edo State government will support, because our goal, like I said, is to make Edo the place to come to. Like I've said, if you have 1 million visitors coming into Edo a year, spending an average of $1,000, that's more than our state budget. That changes our economy. We don't have to be waiting for allocations from federal government. So that is why this is very important for us. And we want to use this opportunity to plead and beg those who love Edo to support this project. This is for the benefit of all of us. It's for our future as a people. There's nothing underhanded about this. The world is looking at us. If you look at last week, there was a New York Times piece. This week, there's likely to, it's been written about across all major international papers globally. The Edo story, the Bronze story, is frontline. And I just believe that we should take advantage, seize the moment, and run with it.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Excellency.
Everybody? Yeah.
The chiefs to join us.
Oh, okay. The chiefs, yeah. All right, perfect.
Everyone, you can look at.
All right, guys.
Okay, come on, look at.
To welcome His Excellency Runway, Obaseki, the Executive Governor of the State, and the Minister of State for Culture and Media, Chairman of the Federal Government, Mrs. Claudia Hope, and all members of the Edinburgh. Welcome the Please resume your seats as we quickly cross some T's and dot some I's. the federal government of Germany are here. And so I'm very digital. And as soon as that is ready, the opening formalities will be it. First, the German anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, very distinguished guests, shall we please? Thank you very much. Thanks for seeing us. Round of applause for that. His Excellency, Governor.
Physically warm today, so a warm welcome to the German delegation. We are happy to have you here in Benin City, our ancient city. I hope you all had a great time today. Somebody can give me a nod of approval. So we were in your country to visit you, and we had a fabulous yet busy time, and we're hoping that we can reciprocate. We're hoping it will be a longer period of time, but we squeeze it into a few hours. The bottom line is we are seeking a way forward as two countries that are joined in a common purpose. I want to sincerely thank the government of the Federal Republic of Germany for your leadership, because without the leadership that you've shown, the artworks and the artifacts that are being repatriated back home to Benin City, it may not have happened. So I want to sincerely thank you all. I also want to speak to a few of the discussions we had when we came to visit. We talked about partnership in business, in energy, sourcing to Germany. We spoke on the Master Craft Certification for Edo youths, which in essence would be a mutually beneficial arrangement, because as we discussed, the population of Germany is aging. You have industries that need young, capable hands, and we have plenty to source to you. So again, it would be a very mutually beneficial relationship. We discussed some other initiatives, and I wanted to let you all know that a lot of those initiatives, including this hall that you're sitting in, was done in collaboration with your government, so we thank you. So under the visionary leadership of our governor, His Excellency Governor Obaseki, we are taking a new charge and moving forward with a positive narrative that will influence all Edo people. And in doing so, we cherish the partnership we have with your government. I don't want to go on too long, but I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for all that you will do. And we also look forward to contributing to the German people with our expertise, with our artistry, with our youths that are skilled. And together, we will chart a new course that will be beneficial to both parties. So thank you, enjoy your time here, and look forward to more collaboration.
It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Just give that river everything you got. Don't feel a thing if you ain't got that swing.
You today, and we are very grateful, especially to you, Commissioner Obaitan, and your team, that you made it possible, this program today, on rather short notice. So thank you very much for your full support. And I think it's really not just of symbolic, but really of bilateral value that this delegation made it to come to Benin City within this year, as it was only this summer that the general agreements on the restitution of the Benin bronzes were signed in Berlin. So you, the German delegation, you made it in the old year, so to say, to come to Benin City. Thank you for this and for the endeavor to do this. And as you may know, tomorrow at 1 o'clock in Abuja, there will be the official ceremony of returning the first pieces, selected pieces from the Benin bronzes to Nigeria, together with the federal government in Abuja. So this is not just symbolics, it's really good cooperation. And I hope this delegation today, I know some of you have been here more often, but for some it was new to come to Benin City. So I hope very much that this will be a very good basis for the next years to come to cooperate strongly on our cultural cooperation, on the creative district that shall be developed in Benin City, and to have our museum cooperation and other cultural issues really progressing in a joint and cooperative mood. So thank you very much to you, especially Governor Obaseki, Commissioner Baitan, for your full support from your side, and thank you to all of you, the delegation members from Germany, to standing the heat all day and to follow us in time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for these wonderful visits. The Minister of State for Culture and Media, German federal government, who is also a member of the parliament, Mrs. Claudia Booth. Ladies and gentlemen, your hands together for her, please.
Great DJ. Excellencies, dear Governor, dear colleagues, used to speak and to say friends, because I think there's friendship in the air. I'm really pleased and honored, and I think we are pleased and honored to be here with you today. Thank you so much for this moment and this opportunity. And quite often one speaks about, oh, this is historical. But I do really think that today there's history. History for your country, but also history for us. It is one thing to sit at a desk in Berlin and ponder what the theft of more than 1,000 bronze sculptures and reliefs meant for the historical kingdom of Benin, and what it means for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But it is something else to be a guest in your wonderful country, to view art as we were able to do today in Benin City, and to experience the diversity of Nigeria, its peoples, its cultures, and its arts. Yes, in Berlin, I can recognize the injustice that the theft of those bronzes represents. Injustice. But what a loss it was. What a loss it was for the culture of this country, for the culture of these people, is something I can only truly feel here. We could feel it from the very first moment we arrived, the open wounds in the hearts of the people here. Cultural heritage is handed down from generation to generation. It offers answers, and it serves as our guide through history. The Benin Roses were able to do that in Berlin too. But what the sculptures tell us in Germany, in France, or the United Kingdom is not the same as what they tell the people here. The sculptures make us look at ourselves, our history, our colonial past, and guilt for stolen art. Wole Soyinka, who was the first Nobel laureate in literature from Africa 36 years ago, and who fought for Nigeria's intellectual independence in the post-colonial period, once said, I make citation, "My understanding of the creative process is simply that all cultures and all concerns meet at a certain point, the human point in which everything is related to one another." This universal moment of humanity that Soyinka described leads us to the heart of the injustice inherent in the theft of art, in the destruction of culture, in colonialism. They are all intended to strip their victims of their humanity. Wiping out their culture is meant to extinguish the source of their identity. That is why colonialism was and is a terrible crime. In the Kingdom of Benin 125 years ago, just as in the Ukraine today. Plundering and destroying cultural sites is a crime against humanity, a crime against that which should actually connect us, the human point in which everything is related to one another. I am pleased that with the bronze's return to the Federal Republic of Nigeria today, we have chosen a new and a different path, a path of shared humanity and custodianship for our cultural riches. And today is not the end of a friendship or a story. No, today is a wonderful starting point, a beginning of a common future, bringing together modern arts, contemporary arts, movies, music, everything, because we are living in one world with common global challenges. And today is a day with a new relationship between Germany and Nigeria and Europe and Africa. It's a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for those very kind remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that that was very incisive and apt. Believes only the very best is good enough for his people. May I respectfully request us to be upstanding as I invite the technocrat in power, the governor of those states, the man that has changed the face of governance, His Excellency Godwin Nogegase Obaseki.
Please be seated. Of Germany, Mrs. Claudia Roth, the German wet burner, are very, very distinguished, including press, museum curators, and all the other people who have come with them. Our Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Arts and other commissioners who are here. Our Royal Fathers, Oba Atokwe,
distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Edo State. Welcome to Benin City, the capital of the ancient Benin Kingdom, where I have the privilege of presiding as governor. We want to thank you, Mr. Minister, and your colleagues for all the efforts you have made over the last 2 years, working very diligently day and night to ensure justice. And the minister just mentioned today that it is important for our common humanity that we must have justice. The main reason you're here today is to come and see the land, the place from which the artworks, the artifacts that adorn your museums over Europe and Germany come from, and the place to which you have kindly accepted that these works should be returned back to. Let me state again that Germany was not the country that invaded the Benin Kingdom. Germany was not the state that burnt down our kingdom and stole our artworks. Germany was only a commercial beneficiary of stolen properties. And in their conscience, they have decided that they must and will return stolen artifacts in their possession. We are not asking that these artifacts, or that all of these artifacts must be returned now. What we are saying is that these are our properties. They belong to us, and they should be given back to us. That the ownership of these properties should be returned back to the owners. And then, thereafter, we could have a conversation as to where they can be kept and who and where they can be viewed. For us as a state, we will continue to support the efforts of the federal government of Nigeria through the National Museum, the National Commission for Museums and Monuments, to undertake the functions of ensuring that Nigerian artifacts, Edo artifacts all over the world, are returned back to its rightful owners. The minister made some very, very fundamental statements, and I want to thank you for that point of connection. Because to many in the West, this return of the Benin bronzes ends an era, because you are returning these works back to those who created the works. But that's not the object. It actually begins a new era of a new relationship. Because with the returns of the work to Nigeria and Edo states, the story now begins a new chapter. And the questions to ask will be, how will these objects benefit the people of Edo and Nigeria? What research and education projects can come out of these returned artifacts? Would it mark the beginning of us trying trying to understand what these objects actually meant and mean to us, or do we continue to rely on interpretations from outside of here? What job opportunities will be created as a result of these pieces coming back? How will they be viewed, researched, and displayed not only in Edo, but across Nigeria and the continent? But most importantly, these objects have been disconnected from us for close up to 5 generations. Therefore, how will these objects and their return inspire young creatives and academics from Edo State and Nigeria? And in our hope as a government, will these objects give birth to a tourism industry in Nigeria and in Edo State, so that the world can come and look at these objects in the place they were originally created? These are questions and challenges that we must address, and to do so will require significant investments in cultural infrastructure, careful thoughts, and diligent preparations. It is within that context we want to appreciate this visit, that the Honorable Minister and her delegation have taken the time from their very, very busy schedules to come and see how these issues are raised will be dealt with. It is important that all of us, Nigerians, must now come together and work together to take advantage of this golden opportunity so that we can reignite interests, global interests in our arts, in our culture, and the opportunity which these works, these artifacts present to us, the touristic opportunities, must not be missed. I would like to use this opportunity to thank our royal father, who at this time of the year is usually in seclusion, performing rites of purification and prayers for us. We want to thank him for all he has done and continues to do for the land. We want to express our profound gratitude to the Honorable Minister for Information and Culture and the Director General of the Nigerian Commission for Museum and Monuments for their willingness to work together with us towards our common goal, despite the occasional challenges we face. Let me end my comments by assuring you and the world that we are poised to be the cultural capital of West Africa. And as a government with limited resources, we will continue to support efforts to build and support infrastructure required to develop culture in our land. I want to specifically thank the government of the Federal Republic of Germany for their support and inspiration. This soundstage we're having this event in today may not have been possible but for the inspiration and support of the German government through the GIC, working with EMOWAA. Thank you for this warm visit. Thank you for the friendships. Thank you for the commitments. And as we say inshallah, by the grace of God, in 12 months' time, we'll invite you back here as we commission the pavilion, which is the first of our infrastructure to house these artifacts. Thank you.
His Excellency will now present a gift to, and so, a field of Edo known for bronze. Can we put our hands together for this very historic one? His Excellency wants you to have a feel of Edo, and the certificates that can allow you take this to any part of the world is also within. Can we please put our hands together again for His Excellency and of course our guest. Thank you. We next invite Mrs. Mitchell Philly, a member of the Parliament. Oh, they are reciprocating. Mrs. Mitchell Butterferry. Okay? So His Excellency will also present this to you for you to have a feel of Edo. Thank you very much. Can we please applaud these? And so before His Excellency will sit down, I understand they will also make some presentation to him. Wonderful gifts to a performing governor. Hospitality at its best. And this applause is now for our governor for receiving all of these from his guests. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You will have your seat now. Thank you very much. We'll allow His Excellency to have a seat. We next invite the Honorable Commissioner for Arts and Culture, Prince Bamidele Abariton, to help us present to Mr. Thomas Koche. Mr. Thomas Koche to receive a gift from the government and people of Edo. Mr. Thomas Koche, is he within? All right. And so he will is a member of the Parliament and a member of the Committee for Economic Work. We also make gifts available for all the delegates, and that will be sent across. In the next one.
the listening today?
No, I wasn't.
Where are they today? They're in Casino.
Yeah.
You didn't go to Casino? You have witchcraft? Witchcraft normally takes you?
No, it's
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.